Hello everybody, my name is Pornprom Suthathorn and you can simply call me Nick. Today I will show you about the individual differences in team. In this chapter, you will understand how to work well with your team, and actually this is a very important soft skill to work with other people. Let's first discuss about the topic today. Okay, the first topic is we will describe the individual differences. What is the individual differences? And you will understand this topic in the first time. And the second is we will identify each aspect or each dimension in the individual differences, such as age, gender, race, ethnicity, and the other related aspect. And the last topic for today, you will assessing yourself, and you can differentiate yourself from the others by using the tool. And this tool will help you to understand yourself and each other well. And you can create a relationship, and you can understand what motivates the others. And of course, you can work well with all people. So let's start in the first topics. So the first topic is what is the individual differences. Of course, everyone is not the same. This is the first fact that you need to know. Because let's think about when you are going to work in the company. When you first join your company, you have your colleague, right? And you have your supervisor. And you also have your superior. Of course, everybody has their own characteristic. Everybody has their own threat, right? So the age is different. If you work in the multinational company, the race is different. So the difference can cause some problems in your job, okay? But in the past 2 decades, the main difference that we interested in the world of the human resource and the business administration is about the gender equality. And in this time, in the present, we also discuss about the aging workforce. Because in the first thing that we concern about the gender equality, you have to understand that today, women can work as a man. The women do not live in only their house and raise their child, but they can also work outside the house, and they can also grow up in the company, or even they create their own company, right? So this day, we will discuss more later about the gender equality. Next, about the aging workforce. In many countries, we are the aging society now, especially, for example, in Japan, or even here in Thailand. The aging workforce is the aging society is the country which have their more than 20% about their population which have their age above the 60. So many countries come to become the aging society because the good medical, the new lifestyle that people love to take care of themselves. So this one is one of the main difference in our work environment today. So as you can see, we have many aspects about the differences in individual. So actually we can divide it into 2 main categories. The first is a surface level diversity, and the second is a deep level diversity. Let's talk about the first one. The first one is a surface level diversity. Of course, the surface, which means just like when you go to meet the new people, you haven't talked to them already. You may know your new friends just their profile, where they come from, what is their age, right? And what is their race. So it's just a rough perception about the people, about their characteristic. But it usually leads to the stereotype threat. which means this is unfair discrimination. Let's talk about if you meet your friends who come from the suburban in your country. I think you may have the perception about that suburban area, and you may think that your new friend will be like what you think. So this is called the stereotype threat. Okay? And the second is about the deep level diversity. When you get to know each other more, for example, you talk to them, you take time with your friends so you can share your thought or your value or your anything in your mind. So you will know each other better. So you will know their deeper characteristic in many aspects. I can simply call that you know them better. So the deep level diversity is I think it's a true differences between people. So let's take the example. I have two examples to make you understand these two levels of diversity. So let's see in the slide, I have Mr. A and Mr. B. If you consider their at the surface level diversity, as I show you the information, Mr. A graduated from the university and he owned the degree, is a major in finance, and Mr. B also studied about finance, but he studied about the financial economics. If you consider this profile, you can see that these two people almost the same characteristic, right? If you consider the person who study about the finance, I think you will think that somebody who wear glasses, right, or carry the calculator all the time, and they must love the mathematics or something. This is a surface level. As you can see, this is you judge them already that the person who owns the finance degree may be somebody like in your thought. But if you see that at the deep level, as I showed you on the screen, you will see that if you consider about the Mr. A characteristic, Mr. A like a reserved person. He don't like to be he don't like the socialization. But Mr. B, he loves to hang out. He is socialized. Come back to Mr. A. Mr. A don't like to take risks, but Mr. B loves to taking risks in many ways, in investment, in traveling, anything. And the last aspect is Mr. A loves to listen to others, but Mr. B likes to make decisions by himself. In this example, you can see that if you judge them only surface level, you will see that these two persons may have the same characteristic. But if you have the chance to talk to them, you will know that this person will not be the same. Okay, let's go to another example. I show you about another two persons. I call Miss A and Miss B. Let's see about her profile in the surface level. Miss A was born and raised in Thailand. And oppositely, Miss B was born and raised in USA. If you consider in the surface level, do you think that these two persons is different? I think it's totally different. Person who raised and born in Asia and in US, I think it's totally different. But if you consider in deeper level, you can see on the screen that Miss A loves to listen to music and Miss B loves singing. Do you see that? These two persons love music both. And another aspect, Miss A loves to traveling abroad and Miss B loves to traveling nearby. But they both love travel, right? Miss A, she is a fashionista, and Miss B, she loves to dress too, but she loves to dress as like a street fashion. But they both love fashion. And the last aspect is Miss A is a dog lover, and Miss B is a cat lover. As you can see that Miss A and Miss B, they were born and raised in different places, but in deeper level, they are the same. Okay, so I can conclude that Miss A and Miss B, they have a different surface level, but they have the same deep level diversity. And if we go back to the first example, Mr. A and Mr. B, oppositely, you can see that the surface level is the same, but the deeper level is different. So I can conclude that you're unable to identify the person from only surface level. Now I think some of you have the question. So these two examples show you that deeper level of diversity, it seems to be better than surface level, right? I think this is a good question, and I was questioning this one too. I think the deeper level is good for work as a team because you have a chance to know each other in your team, right? But surface level is still good for when you need to manage hundreds of people or thousands of people because you have no chance or you have less chance to know each other, right? So the surface level is still important when you have to deal with a big scale of people, okay? So that's why we have to talk a lot deeper about each aspect today in the next sessions. Because if you have to manage the surface level, you have to understand each aspect precisely.